But doesn't this violate her initial freedom of speech ruling? With us now, a gal who has been sticking up for Gregoire's legal position, attorney and very misguided Fox News anchor, Megyn Kelly. So why don't you make yourself feel better and just admit I was right and that you tried hard, but now Gregoire says, I don't really care about freedom of speech anymore. Nothing else is going to be put up.
I've never met a non-lawyer who argues the law so confidently,
and
albeit
brilliantly.
so wrongly.
Oh, come on. Quorum was inappropriate.
Right.
She could have. Legally could have. And let him take them in.
You're wrong. You are so wrong on that. You don't get it. You're wrong. That would be the same as rejecting a Jewish menorah.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
No, it
Atheism.
wouldn't. Inappropriate because of the hateful.
Because
message.
you say so?
Yes, because
no,
I say
you're wrong.
so, and the state argues that in front of the court.
You are wrong. If you put the power in Governor Gregoire's hands to decide what's appropriate and what's not, you can kiss the nativity scene goodbye in the future as well. This is why we don't allow the state governors to decide what's appropriate and what's not.
It was a legal ruling, as Lise Wheels said here last week, that allowed...
Lise doesn't know the background of the case. Lise gave you a one-line answer that you liked without the analysis
Lise ain't going to be happy when she comes on.
I respect Lise, but she hasn't researched this, and she was dead wrong.
She had wiggle room. But now, if the Festivus people or the spaghetti people or the hateful Santa people want to sue her, they're going to win.
It's not going to happen because she's not kicking them out because of their viewpoint. She's got other rational reasons for doing it. She's overwhelmed. But let me tell you what should have been done in this case.
20
Her
seconds.
problem is she said, everyone, all the crazies, come and comment. Once you've done that, you can't shut it down based on viewpoint.
You know why she did that?
What she should have said was, we're going to accept religious holiday displays, no profanity, no certain guidelines that wouldn't be viewpoint-based.
Atheism isn't a religion.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry, but the courts have held it is.
It's not a religion.
Sorry, Bill.
And that is true. I was wrong. What should be done to Iran for abusing the captured Brits. Joining us now from Portland, Oregon, Colonel Ann Wright, who taught the Geneva Conventions to troops at Fort Bragg. Colonel Wright, sure you do. Sure you do.
I surely do. That's what I spent 29 years of my life trying to do.
You know what happened to you? Somewhere along the line.
Very important.
All right. Somewhere along the
Bill,
line.
I served 29 years. How many did you serve?
To
Where did
dislike
you
your own
teach
country.
the Geneva
Cut her
Conventions?
mic off. Goodbye. All right. I'm glad she came on. I wanted you to see her. Not about Iran, not about their seizure or treatment of the Brits. We're bad. And she's not alone. That's what you have. Next on the rundown, Tony. And that is true. I was wrong. You know, U.S. forces captured SS forces who had their hands in the air and they were unarmed and they shot them down. You know that. That's on the record, been documented. In Iwo Jima, the same thing occurred. Japanese attempted to surrender, and they were burned in their caves.
Bill, that's a lot different than this.
Okay,
listen,
what I'm trying to say to you is neither of those things, in the Battle of the Bulge or on Iwo Jima, reflected negatively on our military as far as its total performance was concerned. It was men under stress, snapping. That's what this is. This isn't Abu Ghraib. Abu Ghraib was cowardice, in my opinion, off the chart, irresponsible cowardice to do that. Here, I think we have to
see this investigation unfold, Bill.
Right,
really,
but Murtha isn't doing that, General.
That
is true. I was wrong.
Thanks, Bill. But our winner, Billo the historian, the man who made the Americans the war criminals at Malmedy, the man who evidently cut most of his history classes, gets into a debate with Alan Colmes about the propriety of Obama meeting Hugo Chavez. Do these people have a problem with Mao and Nixon? Colmes asked. And of course, you worked for Richard Nixon. I mean, Nixon goes to China. Do you have a problem with? Billo interrupts. It was Joe and Nixon. Mao was not involved. Colmes, there was. Billo interrupts again. Yeah, Joe. All right. But, okay, all those points are valid as long as you realize it was Zhou Enlai, not Mao Zedong. Colmes, flustered, says, Zhou Enlai. Oh, okay. So Bill is saying that when Nixon made his historic trip to China in 1972, he never met with Mao Zedong, Chairman Mao. He only met with the premier, Zhou Enlai. Do we have that film? So at the summit here in China in 1972, who's that guy Nixon's shaking hands with, Bill? Alfred Hitchcock? Jeez. Bill, help me out here. I'm supposed to take you seriously? Bill, who are you going to believe about Mao? Me or your lying archival footage, O'Reilly? Today's worst person. Get a history book in the world.
And that is true. I was wrong.
You know what I was doing? Shut up.
I was wrong.
Shut up about sex.
I was wrong.
Hey, listen, cut his mic.
I was wrong.
No, that's shut up. No, you had your 35 minutes. Shut.
I was wrong.
We expect every American to support our military, and if they can't do that, to shut up. Okay. So you keep your mouth shut. It's our duty as loyal Americans to shut up and shut up publicly.
I was wrong. Paula Evans, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Bill, if you are so concerned about public figures being bad role models for children, please stop rudely interrupting your guests and telling them to shut up. Well, the shut up line has happened only once in 6 years, Ms. Evans.
Well, you know, I think that asking a student to stay in the closet in order to go to school is a lot
shut
like
up about
asking an
sex.
African-American student.
Want to know what I was doing?
Shut up.
Please don't tell me to shut up.
As respect. Why did you have to tell him you were an atheist if you didn't have any trouble reading the oath? Why didn't you just shut up? What Jimmy Carter should do is privately give Mr. Bush's opinion and shut up publicly. That would be best for the country. And it is our duty as loyal Americans to shut up once the fighting begins. Once the war against Saddam begins, we expect every American to support our military, and if they can't do that, to shut up. All he's got in 6.5 years is that I misspoke, that I labeled a polk award to Peabody. He writes it in his book. He tries to make me out to be a liar.
No, that's
shut up.
No,
You had your
shut up.
35 minutes. Shut up. Quiet. Listen, cut his mic.
And that is true. I was wrong.
In northern Iraq that tried to poison the British water supply with ricin. They operated with Saddam Hussein's okay. Again, complicated, but it isn't so black and white, Dave. It isn't we're a bad country, Bush is an evil liar.
I didn't say we were a bad country. I didn't say he was an evil liar.
Good.
You're putting words in my mouth, just the way you put artificial facts in your head.
All right.
And that is true. I was wrong.
Bill O'Reilly. Many times he has crossed the line from puerile to indefensible, but last night he insulted a man whose boots he was not worthy to lick. Insulted him the day after he died. Insulted him for doing what he, O'Reilly, does constantly. I love to read Bill's words, as you know, but I can't do this crap justice.
Now, George Carlin also dealt with a number of controversial issues. The 71-year-old comedian died from heart failure over the weekend. I spoke with him several years ago. When I see a guy like you, and I say, well, why does he need to use the F word when he can punch the line, get the laugh without the F word? Why do you need to use it?
It's not a need. It's a choice.
Well, why do you choose to use it?
Well, because it's a form of spice in my stew.
Seriously. Seriously, O'Reilly. Seriously, the man's dead 24 hours, and you decide to replay the day you condescendingly tried to criticize him for using the F word?
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. Yeah.
Seriously, Bill. Greasy hypocrite. Bill, today's worst person in the world.
And so I was wrong. And so I was wrong.